Okay, guys.
Mr. Cyril Bandolo.
Can you hear me? I think we are live now on YouTube. So let's just check and see.
Oh, you succeeded.
Yes, I think I'm very sorry about the connection. Can you confirm if we are on YouTube live now?
How can I confirm that?
Maybe Ewere with another page, because I'm very sorry we kept our guys waiting all this while. Yes, I think I'm very sorry about the connection. Can you confirm if we are on YouTube live now? Okay. All this while. Yes, I think I'm very sorry about the connection. Can you confirm if we are on YouTube live now? Okay. So
we were live, right?
Yeah. Okay. So all this while. Yes, I think I'm very sorry about the connection. Can you confirm if we are on YouTube live now? Okay. So
we were live, right?
Okay. So, all this while. Yes, I think I'm very sorry about the connection. Can you confirm if we are on YouTube live now? Okay. So, okay. So, can you guys get me? Okay, Rosius, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, that's good. So, okay. Okay, let me just turn. Okay. So, okay, can somebody say hi in the chat? Let's be sure that you're getting us. Let's be sure that you can hear us. Can anybody say hi? And also, please, can you share the links to your network? I know we had the wrong link before. I'm very sorry about that. For some reason, I could not connect the YouTube, the stream key to the Zoom. For some reason, I don't know. So if you can share this new link to, I know there are a couple of people who have already reached out to us concerning this. Can you help share this new link to them so that they can be able to join us in this? So let's just take a few minutes, please, and share these links. I'm very sorry, and then we can start later then. Yeah, please. Right. Yeah, let's just share the links, this new link to our guys.
I'm sharing on LinkedIn now, so.
Yes, on LinkedIn, on WhatsApp, on, yeah, please.
Please join us. Yeah, I think.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
Okay. So maybe we can just turn on our mics. And yeah, once again, we are very, very sorry for this delay, technical issues. So I hope we can start. So can somebody from the chat confirm if you can hear us right now? Can anybody confirm that? Can hear us? Okay, hear us loud and clear, Okay. So now we know, yeah, okay. So Rosius.
Please, can you turn off your YouTube?
Okay, turn off my YouTube.
I don't know.
Okay.
Is it me or is it you? Because I'm hearing your voice twice.
Okay.
I think it's okay now.
Is it okay now? Where do you have a
Yes.
problem? Where you have the same problem? Hi, Ewere, can you hear us? Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm here.
Okay, good. Okay, so now I think we can start. So I see already a lot of people are here, and again, Mark, I see you. Thanks so much for your patience. You've been here for more than almost an hour. Thank you so much, Chiche, for joining us. Brian, thanks so much. Wesley, thanks. We know technical things happen. We are sorry about that, but we are going to fix that. Okay. So let me just go straight away. So Ewere, are you able to? We would love to see your nice face. Are you able to turn on your camera? Is it possible? Because I already see Rosius smiling and I am smiling. Can we see you? Oh yeah. So that's our first hero in Africa. Thanks so much for joining us. We are really honored, and I'm happy to have all of you here, despite your busy schedule, so that we can be able to do some quick recap. So thanks so much. Let's just go straight, since we are already late, and do our recap. So I'll just share my screen. So I'll just share my screen, and I think the recording will be available for those who were not able to make it, so that yeah, we can have that. So can you see my screen? Okay. Can somebody confirm if they can see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. Okay. So here we are. Hope you can see. Okay, let me see if I can go full screen. and then we see if we can see the full screen still. So because at times when you share a single screen, you might not be able to see the other screens. So let's just see, can you see the full screen? Okay, you can't see me in full screen, right? Okay, so I'm going to reshare again, and then I share so that we have the full screen. So let me just share again. And then now I'm going to share the full screen. Okay. So can you see the full screen?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, thanks so much, thanks. So here we have our 3 African heroes with us. So we were able to attend, I was able to attend personally, they were able to attend also virtually, because we had the option of attending both physically and in person and virtually. So I think there's some mix up with the wordings there. So let me just fix that now rapidly, and I'll just fix that now rapidly. Just put this one up a bit, just for us to. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. So. Yes. Okay. I'll just put that up here. Okay, and then pull this one this way so you can see clearly the names. Okay, so let me just share again. Okay, so we have your 3 heroes here. Rosius, who is a serverless hero, and then I here, machine learning hero, and then Ewere, who is a community hero from Nigeria. So Rosius and I are from Cameroon. And then you can also see our Twitter and LinkedIn handles. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can always get in touch with us, and we can always give more feedback, or we can always work together. So let me just go straight. So our agenda today is we are going to just do a brief overview of Reinvent, just like what is Reinvent really all about. And then we are going to try to capture the 3 key services that were launched for each of these core services, container, serverless, and machine learning, because we have the 3 heroes here, and these are the 3 different categories, and we know these categories cover a good majority of what people want to do in the cloud. So we are going to look at all these categories and the 3 key services that were striking to each of us. There were many services, lots of services were launched, but then we are going to just see the core ones that each of us think we can push through, and even 2023 would projects based on these services. And then at the end, if there are any questions and answers, there are any questions you can ask, and then we are going to answer. So even on the chat, you can leave your questions. So if that's okay, let's move on then. So a brief overview of Reinvent. What really is a Reinvent? So Reinvent is the biggest cloud event, and really it's really big. So it's organized by AWS, and that usually takes place the last week of November towards the first week of December. So there's the possibility to attend both in person and online. So I attended in person. Rosius and Ewere attended online, and there are many persons who were online and in person too. So also one of the things that is interesting about Reinvent is usually a rush. There are more than 2,000 sessions that are going on. So picking which session to go to, there are so many. And that's also the reason why we do recaps like this, to be able to pick out one of the key things to focus on, because 2,000 sessions is really, really massive. And then also it's a learning conference. So most of the core of it is people come there to learn, and then like there are boot camps, there are labs, gamified learning experiences, and then you have technical sessions, breakout, keynotes. So there are lots of things that people come there to do, but most of it is to learn, and then probably also to network. And then there are live demos and interactions, both from the AWS side and from the partners, the partners who come to show their new technology. And then also we have keynotes from AWS leaders such as the CEO, the CTO, to announce new launches, which is what we are going to see here, some of the launches that we fell in love with as heroes. So the Reinvent, a summary of the Reinvent 2022, which just ended last week. The thing about it was it was held in Las Vegas from the 28th of November to the 2nd of December. So yes, most of the times it's held in Las Vegas. This time it was there was a possibility to be in person. Last year it was hybrid, and the year before it was just online strictly. So this is like the first time it's really coming back in full force with in person, and then that possibility of having the online registration too. So we had more than 50,000 attendees, a very big number. So I think some are saying it's even up to 70,000, but it was really massive. There were really many people there. That's why it's really the biggest event. And then also in this during the Reinvent of 2022, many services were launched for compute, data, machine learning, security, and almost everything had a new service launch. And then we noticed that this year there was some more focus towards working on improving observability. Like, for example, Serverless is having the deployment of observability, trying to improve observability, and then also trying to improve security, tighten security. Since after the pandemic, we have had issues with security as people are now working from home and we're more susceptible to phishing attacks. So security was a concern this year. And then also data, as data keeps increasing, data keeps multiplying. So we have to try to harness the data to get better insight. And then also being able to save cost, about being efficient, less cost, less time, more efficiency in terms of developers' time, in terms of resources put in to be able to build applications. So those were the main focus we saw this year. So now we have these links here. So if you want to know more about the resources that you want to read more, there are so many resources. So the top announcements from Reinvent are all here. It's the first link. Then you can look at the keynotes for all the new launches all the new services that were launched. We just touched like 9 of them, 3 for each of our specialties, but there were so many. And then you can also look at the YouTube playlist for the leadership sessions, and then also the breakout session. So let's move on now to the main recap for containers. And I know here, Ewere is here. So he's worked a lot with containers. That's his main focus. So he's going to take us through his 3 main things and that he found interesting with Reinvent. So Ewere, can you take over briefly and let us get your feedback from Reinvent.
Okay, hello everyone. Nice to be here. This is first of its kind recap by Heroes of Africa. Hello Rosius and hello Cyril from Sub-Saharan Africa. So I'll be talking about some of these nice fun things I noticed from Reinvent. Most of the launches were very interesting and they were quite exciting, with a lot of stuff that coming in 2023 that will help a lot of businesses to innovate and drive business processes faster, and also improve whatever kind of workload you have, whatever kind of implementation you currently have. Trust me, with the new launches you have, you're going to have a field day in 2023, because there's a lot of cost optimization that has gone into the new launch of compute resources that have been launched in 2022, and then also interesting stuff around instance types that are happening also around the machine learning and deep learning space. So you can move on. So the first one I want to talk about is the EC2 INF2 instances. So these are special kind of processors that were launched in Reinvent before now, but now this is like a new improvement of what they have, of what we have. So these are designed to deliver high performance at lowest cost in Amazon EC2 for the most demanding deep learning inference applications. So Amazon started with designing what we call the Graviton processors, which were ARM-based processors that performed faster and cheaper than the Intel processors that AWS had. So those processors were basically built for compute operations only. But now you have specially designed processors for machine learning and deep learning operations. And the INF2 instances are specially built instances with the inferential inference processors that helps your deep learning processes to work better. So INF2 instances are powered by up to 12 AWS Inferential 2 processors and the third AWS Design Deep Learning Accelerator. So that means that your deep learning workloads are going to perform more efficiently, they're going to become faster, and you're going to spend less. So instead of you to spend more because of more power that you're putting into your deep learning workload to perform your analysis and to build your models, you spend less at this time. So this is actually a very great breakthrough, and these instances are readily available. Okay, can move on. So the other thing is, so many types of instances are coming up because of the Graviton processor. AWS is able to expand and build more types of instance families. So the three instance families that were launched are the C7GN, the R7IZ, and the HPCZG. So for the first time, AWS is having a specially purpose designed instance type for HPC. Okay, so let's talk about the C7GN. So the C7GN instances are designed for your most demanding network intensive workload, such as network virtual instance appliances like firewalls, virtual routers, load balancers, and so forth. Data analytics and tightly coupled cluster computing jobs. So when you have workloads that are network oriented, so we still have some businesses who build their infrastructure around using EC2 instances. For example, you want to use things like Nginx or HAProxy or any other kind of open source load balancer. So these are the instances that are designed for those kind of workloads. If you might not want to use the AWS load balancer, that's fine. That's quite okay. But you can also use the C7GN instances to deploy your networking workload to help you get better throughput than you can get in your normal EC2 instance. So what this means is that you have better offering in terms of your instance network capacity than you will have when you use a general purpose instance or a network or a memory-based instance or compute-based instance. Now you're having network-based instances that give you better throughput than you will get from the normal instances. The other one we have here is this R7IZ instances, which are perfect match for your electronic design automation, financial, actuarial, and simulation workloads. They are also great hosts for relational databases and other commercial software that is licensed on a per core basis. So this means that you kind of have more control with your RZI7 instances, and the purposes of these instances are clearly stated here. Okay, and then last but not the least here, which is one of the ones that was introduced, is the HPCZG instances. So the G you see in front of these instances means that these instances are using the Graviton processor. And what is so unique about the Graviton processor is that at this stage, we are the third generation, and we have a new kind of Graviton processor. We have Graviton 3, but now we have Graviton 3E, which is like an upgrade of the Graviton 3 processor. Now, anytime you see the G that tells you Graviton, it means that is the custom-built AWS Amazon processors, which are less expensive with higher throughput and better performance than you have with your Intel instance. So anytime you're in your EC2 console and you're trying to launch an instance, just look out for the G at the end of that instance type, and you are going to get better value for your money. Basically, it's always cheaper, like 30%, 40% cheaper than your existing instance types that you find there. So HPC instances are also powered by the AWS Graviton 3E processors, like I said, which are the new type of processors. And they're designed to give you the best price performance for tightly coupled, compute-intensive HPC and distributed computing workloads. So if you're performing very high-intensive workloads for your organization, okay, genome sequencing and anything that has to do with very high compute operations, these are the instances that you will use to get the best performance. So what AWS is trying to do at this point in time is the variations of the purposely built instances are increasing by the day. And you don't just have to go to the console and pick any instance you like. No, you need to look at what the instance is built for and use that instance for what it was designed for. I was talking about the C7GN instance. I mean, the N there means networking. So it means that if you have a high network throughput system you're trying to build, and you are going to be using a lot of network open source tools, VPN tools, load balancing tools, you shouldn't be using the HPC-Z-G. Instead, you should use the C7GN because it comes with a Graviton processor and it's purposely built for networking operations. Okay, let's move on to the next. And then one of the most interesting things for me is the Amazon Code Catalyst. So what's Amazon Code Catalyst? It's a unified software development service that makes it faster to build and deliver software on AWS. So basically, this is a templated dashboard. Now, what does Code Catalyst do for you? Code Catalyst is an end-to-end tool that helps you to build applications out of the box without having to understand the code or the nitty-gritty of the code. So what Code Catalyst has done, from the screenshot you can see here, is that it has templates of applications that people build on a regular, that you don't have to start from the scratch. Instead, it comes with boilerplate templates that you can build applications with. For example, you can see the AWS Glue ETL there, which practically shows you the exact way you can build an ETL tool without having to know about ETL end to end. You also have the simple RESTful microservice, serverless RESTful microservice. Basically, if it tells you serverless, that means it's most likely using API Gateway and Lambda to build that service. And then you have the ASP.NET Core Web API. So what Code Catalyst is supposed to do for you is that it will speed up your development process and deployment process. One of the most interesting things about Code Catalyst is it doesn't just build the code. It doesn't just give you a templated code. It also helps you with the CI/CD pipeline. So you have the DevOps deployment pipeline guide that comes with it. So it automatically orchestrates the infrastructure of your computes and also orchestrates the CI/CD flow of building and deploying the application into the environment you need it with just a single click of a button. So if you're trying to build an application and you don't know where to start from, you don't know how to start your boilerplate code, Code Catalyst helps to take you a step further and a step faster in terms of that particular operation. So those are some of the things that were quite interesting for me, and most especially Code Catalyst in the Reinvent that just finished last week. Thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, we can drop it on the chat. I'll hand over to the next person. Thank you, Cyril.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ewere. It was really rich. And at times, I even feel like I should jump and leave machine learning and join you with containers. But yes, this is really, really, really good. And I love the way you were explicit and you were really clear. So I hope 2023, we are going to see lots of application. People use these new services as they are more efficient. They are more like suits your try to solve your problems better. And let's move on straight away, not to waste much time. Let's move on straight away to Rosius. So Rosius, can you just tell us briefly, what you loved about serverless? This Reinvent. Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Cyril, and Ewere, that was really explicit. I mean, Reinvent would not be Reinvent without a keynote from Dr. Werner, right? And I'm glad that the main focus for this year was serverless. You know, the serverless has always been, on a competing edge with containers, but I'm glad that this year they put everything on serverless, and they actually made mention of, the main focus was event-driven applications, because I don't think there's an app that I've built which isn't event-driven. And the fact that we even live in an async world, it's like common proof that every application that we have to build should actually mimic the real life or mimic the real world. So first on the list in all the announcements for serverless features or the new serverless stuff that got released and Reinvent, the first on the list, which I was most excited about, was the AWS Application Composer. Because catching to beginners has always been my focus. Like I always say, there are more rookies than pros. So I always try to be at that fence or at that edge where I can welcome new people. I can get new people from the public and bring them into serverless, and then they can go in now and then become advanced and stuff like that. But I always like to be on that bridge to be the first person to bring them in. So the AWS Application Composer is actually a visual interface to Can I please move to the next slide? Thank you.
Okay.
So it's
straight. Yeah. So
yeah, no, to the next one again. I've
yes.
already gone past this. Yeah, thank you. So like you can see from the image, it's actually a way to build your serverless applications in a visual manner. It's similar to if you've used the AWS step functions Visual Studio. You know, it has drag and drop, so you can actually build your API, your REST API, you know, and connect it to a lot of different data sources. You know, your DynamoDB, you can add your SQS and stuff like that. And right now, it's still in the preview stage, so it's not really, it doesn't really have all the functionality in place. But with this now, I think it's really great because beginners can just come in and they just drag and drop their functions and their API gateways and databases around, and then deploy, because from here you can generate your SAM template, which is your infrastructure as code, you know, your YAML file, and you can easily deploy to your server just by clicking buttons. This is really great, you know, as compared to writing all the code from scratch. So let's dive into the next feature, please. Yeah, so the next feature, which I was really excited about because I've worked with Event Bridge a lot. Event Bridge actually helps you to decouple your application, which is the most essential part in event-driven apps, in building event-driven applications. So Event Bridge actually helps you decouple your application and separate the producers of an event from the consumers of an event. So this year, Event Bridge pipes was introduced, which helps you write less code, and then it also helps you source your events in real time. So let me give you a simple example. Like at first, in order to get events from the DynamoDB, you have to go through a Lambda, and then you send that to Event Bridge, which intends sends it out to all the consumers. But with Event Bridge pipes, you can easily connect. You can just have, it's a direct communication between DynamoDB and the Event Bridge pipe, so you don't have to write a Lambda code. So that takes, you know, code is a liability, so that takes Lambda function out of the loop, and just, you know, fuses it like that. There's a lot to it. I cannot really talk about all of this now, but I'd urge you all to go out there and just do a research and maybe create a program or some test application to test this out. Let's move on to the next. And I think it's don't get me wrong, there were a lot of exciting stuff that was talked about or that was introduced at Reinvent, but Lambda Snaps stack actually stands out to me. Why? Because even though it's catering to more of Lambda Java developers, because I don't get to use this because I develop in Python and TypeScript, but for Java developers, this is like great news. Cold start has been something that's plagued the serverless world for a long time. You know, the thing is that when your application is about to launch, it has all the dependencies, all those import statements that you made in it. It has to actually grab all the resources, you know, and start it up. So that takes some considerable amount of time, depending on the amount of resources that you actually put into your Lambda function. So that time alone always, you know, that developers are always complaining about it, like the code, our code start, we're trying to reduce our code start, but it's at this level and that. But now Lambda Snaps comes with speeds of, it enables your Lambda functions to start up at least 10 times faster. And this is actually good because now your code start the latency has greatly dropped, and then your application can run a lot faster. So I don't know, I've not really tried this out because again, I'm not Lambda Java. I'm not Java. I don't use Java to program my Lambda applications, but I'd really like to try this out and maybe do some benchmarking and see how it has really improved and how my application can be faster. So I urge you guys to still go out there, especially for the Java developers, and try this out and let us know what you think. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, yes, it's really been very, very wonderful because I really see some of the things that Event can now do, and I'm really impressed by so many serverless launches. I think the last day of Event was so much about serverless, and I agree with you. So it's really an interesting thing. So there are many services. The links, we have the links, the first slide, but then the links are available. Anybody can always go back to this and be able to follow through. So thanks so much again. And now for me, I'll just go briefly. We're almost towards the end. So the things I noticed, I was trying to pick what could easily help me solve problems with machine learning. There were lots of launchings with machine learning, yes, some with data, things like that. But what I saw really that really moved me. The first one was that improvement in the Amazon SageMaker geospatial data. And then the second one was shadow testing, which is when your models are live. How do you ensure that you're doing some A/B testing to be able to challenge the old models and bring in a new model, be sure that the new model can perform better, which is usually a problem. And then the third thing that really moved me was the fact that we are able to easily now share models and notebooks so that maybe the deployment team can deploy easily, or your other colleagues who are data scientists or machine learning engineers can collaborate with you. So these three things were really exciting for me. I'll just go briefly through them. So you have all the links available. I'm sorry about the mix up of this type or some of these text, because some of the times we're using Mac, we're using online Google Doc, and then we're also using PowerPoint on Windows. So it's a lot of harmonization that needs to be done. Yeah. So maybe that's another. So for me, the first thing was the Amazon SageMaker special data, which means now that means a lot really, because we are able to make predictions with ease from geospatial data, because last time it was the Amazon location services, but then they had some shortcomings. But this geospatial data, this new facility now really helps to be able to use your GPS to make sense out of make predictions and be able to get lots of value from the fact that you're using your location. So you can transform and visualize data inside the notebooks now, and then you're able to get you can easily access high quality geospatial data, which you wouldn't have before. But with the fact that it's integrated with this new facility, you are able to have access to quality data and maybe superimpose or overlay on your field, maybe your farm or your city, which we are going to see some of the applications in the next slide. And then also, you will save time on being able to prepare, clean, transform that data, because things are now made easier for you. Something you would have needed to with lots of energy, but now you're able to just do them with ease. So open source libraries are used like NumPy, Tidal, and your pandas. Then let's go to something like this application here, which I already start enjoying. So insurance companies now can analyze the impact of natural disasters on local economies and be able to adjust with the risk and the premium. So just from the natural disasters from different locations, they can be able to customize their premiums very easily with this new service. And I have this one at hand, which is like a record for companies can now track the health of crops and livestock. So you have a farm, maybe hundreds of thousands of hectares, and you are able to use this geospatial, this support of geospatial data, be able to look at the health of your crops, look at the health of your livestock, look at the diseases affecting your farm, look at the pests that are affecting your farms, and maybe be able to do some herbicides, pesticides, more precise agriculture. So this is really an interesting service to me personally, and I think I'll really be working on lots of projects with this service in 2023. And then so farmers can now be able to predict their yield. You have your 100 hectares of corn. How do you know what you're about to harvest the next day? So the next day, I might be coming with trucks to harvest 2 tons, 10 tons, 5 tons, 8 tons. So this is geospatial data. Is going to help you, guide you, so you're able to know this is what I need to bring, the trucks I need to bring to harvest tomorrow. So, and also retail shops can be able to identify the optimal locations to place their new stores. So based on the geographic data, they're able to know, let's open up a store here on this street, at this location, at this corner. So it's really very powerful. And I look at it, I see so much problems, so many problems it can solve. I see so many applications it can use, and I could have even stopped here and say, just going straight build on this service. But then let me move on to the next one, which is which was interesting, is being able to monitor that you have a live model which is running, and then you want to do some A/B testing. So you create a second model. So you use now the shadow test, which is like, so you can be able to continuously monitor the model that is going on, be able to get a second model and maybe replace the old one with this new one, challenge it with the new one. So you can conduct more holistic tests by routing a copy of your live inference first production model. And then also it helps you to build confidence in the models, and so that you can be able to know, okay, the new model is performing well, I can now push it now to production, or I keep the old model. So it's really a great improvement. So let me just go here. So it's good for A/B testing again, and it can help you challenge the old model against the new one to see which one performs better. So it's a service that I also think is interesting, especially when you put your models online. Maintaining and managing the models to keep giving you accurate predictions is a big problem and a huge challenge for machine learning engineer. So then now, let me go straight to the last one, which is the fact that now it is easier to share your model and artifacts with both your data science colleagues or machine learning colleagues, and also push to maybe the software engineers or the DevOps guys or the guys push to operations. So this brings now that facility to be able to collaborate more. And then there's also, since it's using the Jumpstart, which has lots of inbuilt algorithms already pre-trained and inbuilt algorithms which solve end-to-end problems, you can also benefit from that and be able to support your team can collaborate very easily, and also be able to push and share, push your easily production with the rest of the team. So briefly, that is those are the three services that really were interesting to me, and I think we have all the links. We have all these services are available for us. It's open, it's available. There are YouTube links, there are links on AWS directly. There are other documentation that you can read online. There are people who have come up with recaps from their own angles. Lots of heroes are preparing and are also writing more. So if you have any question, you can always leave it in the chat. But I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate the fact that you guys were really here right up till now, given the challenges we have. And I can't say thank you more than I can say it right now. So I don't know if Ewere, if you have a closing remark, while if we have a question, we can respond. And then later on, Rosius, if you have some closing remark, then we can call it and let people go on with their daily activities. So Ewere, do you have any closing remark?
Well, I would just say that 2023 is going to be a wonderful year. I think we should not wait to start testing out some of this new stuff and see how we can get them to give more value to businesses and help to improve computing generally, and also just stay cloudy. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ewere, thanks. I agree with you. Rosius, any?
Yeah, I mean, my closing remarks are always simple. Just go out and build, and try to tag me on what you're building, because that's just how I get down with the community, building. So whatever you want to do, whatever you're doing, I would like to just be a part of it. If you want to build together, which I think we should be doing, then hit me up at any time. But just go out there and build. Thanks.
Okay, thanks so much. Brian, I see your comments. You're asking if I was hands-on with the SageMaker geospatial and open any library. Yes, I've started working on it. Reinvent was last week. I had to take the rest first, and I started working on it. And then, Brian, we can collaborate, just like in line with what Rosius just said, all of us. Let's get on, let's collaborate. I'll share with you so that we can work together and try to build, solve problems, build applications that are able to solve real life problems and leave our impact. So, Brian, I look up to going offline with you on this, and let's be able to see how we can our energies together and come up with something that can help solve problems. So with that, on that note, if there's nothing else on the chat and there's nothing else to say, I would just say I'm looking forward to, I can say I am excited about 2023. I'm excited about what will come up. And I think these new services and more, and the support from our fellow heroes and you guys, community, we are going to use all of this, our synergy, and we are going to build things that will create massive impact next year. So thank you so much. Thanks so much for your time. Thank everybody, and let's stay in touch. And this is just the beginning. Wish you good data, serverless, and machine learning luck. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.
Bye, everyone.